comparing earthquakes, high-income countries and low-income countries. So we're going to focus on Kobe and Haiti, but you could easily focus on other examples from high-income countries or low-income countries. There's two others on the website. There's one from New Zealand, the Christchurch earthquake, which would do very well for a high-income country, and there's another one from Nepal. If you just look at the data here, the reason why sometimes we go with Kobe and Haiti is because they're actually quite similar events in terms of their physical characteristics in the background. So Kobe earthquake was 20 kilometers southwest of the city. Haiti earthquake was 16 kilometers southwest of Port-au-Prince. Both had shallow focuses as well, so that increases the amount of damage. Only 16 kilometers for Kobe, 10 to 15 kilometers there for Port-au-Prince. Both in large populated areas. So Kobe, a city of over 10 million people, and both events pretty similar in terms of magnitude, both in the sevens there. So they give it a fair comparison. So you can compare both of those and justify why those two particular events. You've looked at the location before, but we'll just have a quick look at it. So there you can see the epicenter close to Port-au-Prince in Haiti, and you've got the North American plate being driven along and under the Caribbean plate here, which is the reason for a lot of these volcanic islands around in the Windward Isles. Okay, Kobe sits on a fault line running off this destructive plate margin where you've got the Pacific Ocean plate and the Philippines Ocean plate being subducted underneath the Eurasian continental plate. And then just think about this, we've got two different earthquake events. We've had to think about natural factors already. And then there's population size, density and distribution can have a big impact on whether a natural event becomes a natural hazard, and how many people die, and how much damage is done to buildings and so on. So you could think about that, the level of wealth and development of the country as well. So we've got two very contrasting examples. Kobe, one of the richest countries in the world in Japan, and Port-au-Prince in one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere, or indeed the world, in Haiti. The location of the event, how big the event was. Now they're pretty similar size, so that's less of a factor in this case. How often they occur, and then that might be a difference. The management via the 3Ps and the capacity of the place to cope. That's a really key phrase: capacity to cope. Some countries and places simply have a better capacity to cope because they're wealthy and they can afford institutions and organisations that help them recover. So your task really is to have a good read through the information sheets on Kobe and Haiti, and then you can visit my site there, coolgeography.co.uk, and have a look at the case studies. There's plenty of information there, and compare the primary and secondary impacts, responses immediately after the event, and the long-term responses. And there's a table that I'm going to show you in a minute that you could use to compare there, and then use some of the connective words as well. Okay, then have a think about that. Why are there differences between? So I think the death tolls are much higher in lower income countries than Haiti. You could have a think about that in a table. So Haiti, the death toll was 316,000. That was the estimated death toll, and in Kobe it was just over 5,000 people. So have a think about why that might be the case. A lot of the buildings in Kobe were life safe. They were built to a good standard. They didn't collapse and crush people, whereas in Haiti that certainly wasn't the case. The death toll might be higher in Haiti as well because a lot of emergency services were just incapacitated and couldn't go and help, whereas in Japan, a very developed country, they've got armed services, dedicated rescue services and so on. So you can have a think about that, see if you can think of a few differences between the two, and then give some responses. And then there's just a little bit of exam practice. Evaluate why some tectonic events have more impact than others. And I think you'd probably want to make the argument here that the Haiti earthquake certainly had a much bigger impact than that of the one in Kobe. You need to think about the different impacts, why they're different, and explain why they are. So we just looked at death tolls there. Why was it bigger in one and not the other? Okay, so you could have a think about that. And a possible plan would look something potentially like that. An introduction. You might have a think about death tolls and why those were different. the cost of the damage was different as well. Kobe's was much greater, 100 billion compared to Haiti's, which was 14 billion. Obviously, the level of development there and the things that were damaged and the cost to repair those would be worth thinking about. Kobe damaged 104,000 buildings, Haiti 280,000. You could think about why there. And then your conclusion, was damage greater in the low-income country, or was it greater in the high-income country? So the worksheet looks like this. You've got the background information there. You could click and pop your answer in there. You could read the information sheets, put a paragraph in here why those were different. Okay, and then there's the differences and reasons table, and there's room at the bottom there for your exam question answer. Good luck with that.